That doesn't stop me. So here we go. By the way, since we have some new people, I need to explain something I explained to the congregation, that I have at my previous church, one of my youth sponsors, who was an editor for a book company, she called me one day and she said, "Pastor Randy, I know what's wrong with you." She was editing the 26th edition of Dorland's Medical Dictionary, and she came across this condition called Witzelsucht. It's named after the guy that, I guess, discovered it or whatever. But anyway, it's the explanation. It's a mental condition. Mental condition, and it's characterized by the telling of poor jokes and puns and pointless stories, at which the patient himself is intensely amused. See, so my point is, in telling you that, is these might not be good, but I'm having a great time. Okay. A minister was preoccupied with thoughts of how he was going to ask the congregation to come up with more money than they were expecting for repairs to the church building. Therefore, he was annoyed to find that the regular organist was sick and a substitute had been brought in at the last minute. The substitute wanted to know what to play. "Here's a copy of the service," he said impatiently, "but you'll have to think of something to play after I make the announcement about the finances." During the service, the minister paused and said, "Brothers and sisters, we are in great difficulty. The roof repairs cost twice as much as we expected, and we need $4,000 more. Any of you who can pledge $100 or more, please stand up." At that moment, the substitute organist played the Star-Spangled Banner. That was pretty good. Okay, let's try this one. A pastor had a bad week. Can you imagine a pastor having a bad week?
Never.
On Sunday, he was very frustrated and he began his sermon. "Everyone in this parish is going to hell if they don't change their ways." What did I say that? Don't tell me. One man in the back began to laugh. So the pastor said it again louder. The man continued to laugh. The pastor went back to him and asked why he was laughing. He said, "Because I don't belong to this parish." Don't encourage me. Here we go. Let's try this one. I'm on a roll. Thanks to you guys. A man is flying in a hot air balloon and realizes he is lost. He reduces height and spots a man down below. He lowers the balloon further and shouts, "Excuse me, can you tell me where I am?" The man below says, "Yes, you're in a hot air balloon hovering 30 feet above this field." "You must work in information technology," says the balloonist. "I do," replies the man. How did you know?" "Well," says the balloonist, "everything you have told me is technically correct, but it's no use to anyone." The man below says, "You must work in management." "I do," replies the balloonist, "but how did you know?" "Well," says the man, "you don't know where you are or where you're going, but you expect me to be able to help. You're in the same position you were before we met, but now it's my fault." Okay, let's go on. This one definitely is a this is going to be my last one. This is definitely an Iowa kind of a joke. A farmer was driving along the road with a load of fertilizer. Now, do you understand what a load of fertilizer is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I was very acquainted with loads of fertilizer when I was on the farm. So there's a reason why I left the farm. Okay, here we go. So he's driving along the road with a load of fertilizer. A little boy playing in front of his house saw him and called, "What have you got in your truck?" "Fertilizer," the farmer replied. "What are you going to do with it?" asked the little boy. "Put it on strawberries," answered the farmer. "You ought to live here," said the little boy. "We put sugar and cream on ours." That was good. Okay, let's have the worship team come up. We're going to, we have a real put-together worship team today because they've never played together before today. But you know, I've learned something about musicians. They just like to jam. You know, they just like to get together and start doing that. So it's kind of fun. Let's start with prayer, and then we'll do some singing.